Hello everybody, and welcome back to Traps Tuesday Toots. Today we are going to go over some villager mechanics. So, let's take a look. For starters, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build a carrot and potato farm. You have to kind of pick one or it's not going to work super well. But if you pick either carrots or potatoes, this little guy right here, he's going to go ahead and collect all the vegetables you need and keep providing them to you via this hopper chain. So what we're going to do is take a look at this center part and then we'll continue out this way. Now what we have here is we have a block for the villager to stand on right in the center. Then we have trapdoors going up and then we have trapdoors on the top. And then we just surround that with sea lanterns or glowstone. And then we surround it. I have chosen glass just so you can kind of see the farm, make sure everything's working. But if for whatever reason you wanted to use other blocks, really any block should be fine. You're not going to have any problems. Some blocks might be spawnable, but as long as you keep things lit up, it should be okay. Then you have these hoppers here, and they lead into this hopper chain right here going down. This is completely stackable, so you can have a center line of hoppers right here that will just go straight down and collect from each level of the farm that you have. So that is that. So basically, what this does allow you to do is it does allow you to have two of these setups for each one villager here. So we have this farm over here for carrots, and I'm going to build another duplicate farm over here for potatoes. And that's how we're going to take a look at how this works. Alright, so to build this farm, what we're going to do is we're going to come to this side, and we're going to go ahead and place a dirt block. Then we're going to stick a row of 3, followed by a row of 5, and a second row of 5. Come out, and this is going to be a row of 9, followed by 2 rows of 11, followed by a row of 15, and then a row of 17, and then a row of 19. And then we just go ahead and reverse that. Alright, so this is where those extra little bits come in. We just need to stick a slab in each of those spots there. In each of those spots there. There. And again there. And then this could be whatever building block you want to build it out of. Again, I like the glass because it does allow you to see into the farm and just make sure everything is going okay. But it is not necessary. And then go ahead and put 1 block on the end, and then 2 blocks up each of these. 1 block there, 2 blocks here, 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 and here. 1 block there. And basically what I've done is at each end it's 1 block, and then in the middle of this row it's 1 block. And that's because I'm going to use a sea lantern or glowstone to add light. If you wanted to, you could do torches instead, in which case you would just build this entire wall up 2 blocks and then put torches on it. But we're going to go back through and put the sea lanterns in. And that's going to light up this whole farm, keep it working all the time. Now come right to the center of this farm, and we're going to make a hole right there. And here, I'm also going to use a slab. Now go ahead and grab out your water bucket and waterlog each of the slabs throughout this entire build. And then, in the center here, we're going to go ahead and put a composter down. And we'll break 2 of these blocks. That is going to leak a little water for a quick second, and then we're going to lay a bed right there. And that bed is going to be where the villager that farms this gets to sleep. That's going to keep him working properly. Now we just hoe all of this up. And then go ahead and plant your crop. If you don't have enough potatoes or carrots to fill the entire farm, you can just plant what you can, and it will work. It's just going to take longer because the farmer's going to prioritize getting the potatoes and carrots planted over feeding the other villager. So while you might get some output, it's not going to be nearly what you're going to get once it is fully planted and ready to go. Next, I do recommend putting a trapdoor over each one of these water sources. That makes it so that the 2-block tall villager won't fall into the water, which means that these blocks here won't get trampled ever, and the villager won't do weird things, because sometimes they like to dance around in the water, and it's kind of weird. But that is actually this farm done. Now we just need to go ahead and get our villager in here. Now, as a note, some of your crops might get trampled, and you might need to re-hoe the land and replant a crop when you bring in a villager, depending on how you do it. But it should work okay. Oh, I did forget. We do need a sea lantern over this. Alright, so I did figure out what my problem was. I had brought the villager in after I had already placed this villager. And this villager, because the way this is working right now, he thinks he can make it to this bed, which meant that this villager didn't have a bed, which meant that he wouldn't take the job. So we do need to go ahead and make sure that we put in our 2 farmer villagers and then put in our collector villager. But this should now work just fine. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and come on over here and build another one of these, and I'll show you why in just a second. Alright, so this is now built. Now this is built exactly like those, except I don't have the opening for this villager. I am going to alter this, but what this is going to be for is this is going to be actually our villager breeder. Now, it's built exactly the same way, and we need to fill it with So this all now has carrots. Now the next thing you are going to need to do, if you want it to be successful, you could go ahead and run it with just the one composter. You'll have one farmer and he'll farm for everybody. But it's best if you have a few farmer villagers. So I'm going to go ahead and place in a few more composters here. Alright, and so now I'm just going to have 4 villagers in here, so I've just placed those 4, and then I got rid of the center one, just because I can. Really, it shouldn't matter where the composters are, you just need to make sure you do have one for each of your villagers. And then we'll place in our 4 villagers. Now, they're not going to take the profession, both because of time of day, and because they currently don't think there's a way for them to sleep, because, well, there's not. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and we are going to place in a trapdoor here, and then we are going to Place down a couple temporary blocks. We're going to place down a trapdoor right here. And then we will place down a few beds. The trapdoor will not, in fact, do. As we have just found out. So what we need to do is we do need to make sure there is a bed for each of the villagers, as well as at least one extra bed. I recommend a couple extra beds, just in case. And then we will get this guy out of our way if we can. Apparently we can't. Alright, we have set the time to day. Close that down. And got rid of those. So now they think, because of these trapdoors, they can get to those beds. But in reality, they cannot. And then what we need to do is go ahead place down a little enclosure here. That is a 1-block gap, which means baby villagers can fit through that gap, which is exactly what we want. So what we are now going to do is place this right here, and then wherever we want this, we can place that. And this can go off to wherever we're going to collect our villagers. And we will place water right in there. Now, what that's going to do is push your villagers over into this direction. Now, I did build this on the wrong side. We should not have put this facing into this village. So let's fix that real quick. Alright, now that that is all done, we're going to come on in here. And we are going to place blocks right underneath this all the way back to here. We're going to go ahead and place a wall right here. Place 3 glass right there. Now we're going to stick a sign there. And a sign there. And what this is going to do is this is going to wait for our villagers to grow into adults. And then it's going to allow them to go into the next holding chamber, which is the next part we're going to build. So here, we're just going to build up 3 high here. And run it across like that. Nice little U. And then this needs to be a 3x5 opening right here. And actually we can go from right here. So that's 3, 4, and 5. And that's going to just allow us to push our villagers into a corner nicely. And then we just need to make sure that this has 2 high walls all the way around it. And I like to go ahead and put in the floor one as well. Except we will need to leave one of them out here in the corner. We'll need to make sure we put in glass right here in order to free our villagers when we want them. Alright, so we are now ready for water. So if we come in here, we need a water source right there. And then we need a water source right here. And as you can see, this is going to push the adult villagers off into this corner. And this is where we can start building our track. And so what we can do is we can place a dispenser facing in this direction. And then we place powered rails right along here. And then we can stick normal rails up here, and these will go to wherever we want to take it. And inside of this dispenser, we will just stick some normal mine carts. We could also stick a hopper with a chest with more mine carts in it. And then that will... oh, does help if we power the rail. So that will shoot out a cart and it will send it along, and if there were villagers there, it would pick them up right from this corner. Alright, so this villager breeder should be done. What you're going to see is these farmers are going to go ahead and harvest these crops, and then when they have enough crops and they're ready to, they're going to go ahead and try to breed. Now, because there's no blocks blocking any of this here, they think they can go ahead and get to these beds, which means they think there's 7 spawnable bed or 7 viable beds for the village. Now, they can't actually get to any of these beds, but they think they can because of these trapdoors, and so they are going to go ahead, because there's only 4 of them, and try to make babies. Now, you should get 4 villagers a day out of this villager breeder if everything is working properly. And how it works is the babies also think they can get to these beds, but they will try to go to the beds to jump on the beds during the day or to go sleep in them at night. Either way, they try to come across these, and because they're only 1 block tall, they can make it underneath this trapdoor, but they will fall through those trapdoors, and that will make them come over to here. And they'll be bouncing around right here, waiting to try to get somewhere else, not able to get anywhere. And then eventually, they're going to grow up. And then they're going to bounce on this wall, and they're going to get into that water. And then they're going to climb up the water, and then make their way over here. Now, one thing you are going to want to do with all of these farms is go ahead and place in a roof. Now, my understanding is it should be a couple of blocks up, just in case. But you're going to want to place a roof over anywhere that a villager might actually be. And the reason for that is, if villagers get hit by lightning, they turn into a witch. And a witch obviously isn't going to work for you in a villager breeder. So you're going to want to cover that up. And that goes for the farms as well. Now these are stackable farms, so you can go ahead and keep building farm on top of farm on top of farm. But once you get to the very top farm, make sure there's a roof over it. Alright, so that roof should work, and that'll make it so that these guys can't get struck by lightning. Again, you would want to do that with your regular farms as well. But let's see if these guys make a baby. Alrighty, folks. Now, I did have a bit of a problem with these villagers getting crammed up next to this wall when it was connected to the other 2 sides. I don't know why that makes a difference, but it does seem to. So I got rid of the block here and here. And there might even been a block here, so I got rid of all of those, and it's just the wall, and now they don't seem to get stuck. I haven't seen it happen yet anyway. We'll keep an eye out for that. But what we do have is a couple of villagers over here, and one that I already tested. So they're stuck in the corner. If we just hit this button, as you can see, they do fly off in that direction, just like they should. And you could obviously make that track go to wherever you want, and because this is a redstone activated device, you don't even have to have this button here. This button could be off wherever and just run redstone to this dispenser. Make sure it has minecarts, and you can call villagers whenever you need them, wherever you need them. And you can run this to multiple places. You can obviously change up the track depending on what you need. So it's quite a versatile system that should do for you quite nicely. But that is going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, if you like this video or if it helped you out, make sure you subscribe for future videos, and make sure you hit that like button, because that is going to help me and the channel out. And thank you, everybody. And remember, folks, don't get trapped without me. Bye-bye.